Me, Richard Brown. How are you doing today, sir?
Doing pretty well, man. Yourself?
I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Today, we are viewing one of my favorite franchise of all time, the James Bond series, Spectre, the fourth Daniel Craig James Bond movie. So, as always, Richard, please tell the folks how you feel about the movie, sir.
It was all right.
Thank you,
I hate to
sir,
go.
for being honest. Thank you.
It was all right. I mean, it was fantastically shot. Um, I have to give the movie the credit because their opening sequence in that movie is probably one of the best. At least if it was single take, I would have to give it credit. But it's probably merged somehow with some sort of digital effect. But that first opening shot is impressive, and then the way that the action looks in the movie is great. All of the fights and the chases, they were really gritty, and they were grounded in realism. But the movie felt like it was just a whole bunch of talking. That's my first issue with it. And the second thing is I saw this movie about 2 months ago. So, and when I say that is because Mission Impossible 5 ran pretty much the same parallel as this movie, and I think it actually did it better. So, it was good. I mean, I can't say don't see it, but I'm not. Also, I'm kind of like, this is probably the weaker of Daniel Craig's movies by far, because um, what was the first movie? Casino Royale. It's like every
Casino
other
Royale.
movie. Yeah, it's like every other movie. It's great. Yeah, Casino Royale, and then Quantum of Solace was the second one. What was the name of the third one? I really like the third one for some reason.
Skyfall.
Skyfall. Yep, I like Skyfall. Um, and I don't know, just it was okay. It was just okay. So I'll let you say what your thoughts are on it.
Okay, I've been waiting to talk about this movie because I'm a huge James Bond, my bad, James Bond fan.
Uh-huh.
And when I finally figured out who the villain was for Spectre, I was like, "Yo, didn't we already have this villain before in the James Bond movie? Like the iconic turn around in the chair, rubbing the cat. That's the villain that, excuse me, that's the villain that Sean Connery killed when he was playing James Bond. So to see this get played out all again, and then I got reminded again that okay, Casino Royale was the big hit the reset button on the James Bond franchise,
Right.
so they could start over again. So I really don't like that they've actually made true sequels in James Bond films. If you look at the previous
Yeah.
22 James Bond films, they haven't been sequels. You can actually just go to a James Bond film and watch the movie and you can enjoy it because it's a standalone movie. When
Right.
this one, I'm having to explain, well, in Casino Royale, the tape where it said the interrogation of such and such, well, that's the girl that they interrogated in Casino Royale. And the reason why that big building has the hole in it is because they blew it up in Skyfall. It's just a debacle for me and my date how I had to explain the movie to her the whole entire time. And she said that she enjoys spy movies. I'm like, oh, if you enjoy spy movies, you'll definitely love a James Bond movie because that's all it is basic espionage.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, like you said, Mission Impossible 5 delivered a lot better than the James Bond movie did. Still a good
Yeah.
movie because
Yeah.
it's
It's not.
fantastically shot, like you said. It's still a good
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah. It's like when I walked out of the movie, my fiance, she said it best. It's exactly what you said. It's pretty much like watching the old James Bond movies. The only difference is it's just better special effects, and it is written better. It's not like a poorly written movie. It's just I've seen it before, and there's nothing really about this movie that, when you're watching a movie, the way I like to look at it is you have to be emotionally invested in the character for me not to actually keep looking at my clock. It was the one night where I didn't actually bring my cell phone with me to the movie theater, and when I was watching the movie, I was like, man, I haven't watched. How much longer is this movie gonna go? Like, I'm thinking this the whole time while I'm watching it. It's not because the movie was bad. It's just that I didn't really care what happened. It was more like, okay, well, obviously the way that this is playing out is James Bond is going to wind up, succeeding, or it's like, well, I've seen this villain before. Okay, well, we know how these things kind of play out. It's like every trope for villain from the '60s is thrown into this movie. The other thing is that Mission Impossible 5, the whole double, the spy agency trying to take out another spy agency, that's been done before. It's there's nothing that's actually new about it. It's just, okay, well, we got this movie and it's cool. I mean, it definitely was really, really awesome to look at, and it's not like it was bad. It's just that if you go in here thinking you're going to be surprised, by far I wasn't. It was okay.
Yeah, let's roll into the spoilers for this movie because there's something I just want to mention real quick.
Okay.
What happened in the movie. And when James Bond gets captured and he's not laying on a table like he was in the original, he's laying in a chair. And instead of a laser coming up between his legs, it's drills going into his head.
Right.
I was thinking, man, I know I've seen this before. Before. The only thing that was missing was instead of holding the cat was on the floor running around.
Right. Yeah, and it kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, and it was kind of cool that when he blew him up, that's when he finally got his scar on his face. We're like, oh, okay, so that's how he got the scar on his face.
Right.
And when he was running out of it, the only thing I was thinking about when he was running out of the lab was like Austin Powers did the greatest spoof ever because it was seriously random guys running in the open, shoot, don't get behind cover, just let them shoot you.
Mm-hmm. It's like, again, it's not like there was anything bad. It just wasn't anything that really changed my perspective on a Bond movie. And I will have to say I agree with you where you say that that the movies they need to pretty much become episodic, where it's like, okay, you're done with this movie and then it's over with. And this movie to me felt like it is, it was rumored that Daniel Craig's not going to be the next Bond, but the way that the movie felt is like this was the send-off for at least his character. And it's not like, and this is going to sound terrible, I think Daniel Craig is probably one of the better portrayals of Bond that we've had so far. But I think the way that the movie ended is kind of like, all right, we'll go out to greener pastures and have a good one, because the way it ended, it just seems like, okay, well, James Bond really is kind of, at least his Bond is over with what he's done. And it's like all of his, even the villain turning out to be, since we're talking about spoilers, the villain turned out to be his quote unquote brother. It's like, okay, and it was like, all right, well, okay, it's his brother, but what did that do to actually enhance the story? Like, it was honestly like, you could have taken out the whole brother plot aspect of it, and it really wouldn't have made a terrible amount of difference. It gives you something that you want to look for with the character. It gives you something that, let's say you're looking, okay, well, it gives James Bond some motivation, but it's motivation based in exposition, not in character development. Because it's like all of a sudden, and it's like, oh yeah, well, I'm responsible for all the things that have happened in the past. It's not like they showed any of these things happen. It's like, it's just them talking. And it was, like I said, it's just kind of like those are the flaws that I have with the movie. I mean, beyond that, it's kind of a run of the mill, like, okay, well, James Bond's going to go here. He's going to find this other person. And I felt like the movie was going to end like 3 times. Like, it just didn't seem like every time you go to you watch this movie, you're like, okay, well, these set of things happen, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, now we got to go do more stuff, and then go do more stuff, and it's like, oh, okay, you just kind of get. I got a little. I think it became tiring after a while, because it's like I think my expectations were a lot higher, because coming off of Skyfall, Skyfall I thought was awesome, and then this movie just kind of like, yeah, it was all right. And then I know this is gonna sound totally off base, but Sam Smith's Bond song, oh man, I just did not like it. Like,
thank you. Okay. Look, if you just like turn the volume down and watch the opening credits, that was a pretty awesome special effect that they have for the opening credits. that song just seemed like it didn't fit. And
It
I don't
did.
want to hang up on that too much because to each his own. Some people love Sam Smith out there. To me, the gripes that I had with the movie, it seemed like they went down to like, what's the recipe that we have in every Bond movie? Car chase, check. Running sequence in the beginning, check.
Right.
Great fight sequence in the middle of the movie, check.
Right.
Bond girl that he makes out with and just leaves on the side of the road, check.
Right.
I mean, it seems like they had a checklist of things that they needed to hit for this movie, and they hit each individual one in a row. The only thing that I could say was really missing was sexy chick that he fights. That's probably the only thing that was missing in this movie. And like you said, when you compare it to Skyfall, like Skyfall was that movie that made you think, like, what's going on? Why is this villain after James Bond?
Right.
And this guy was after James Bond because he was the agent that M cared about so much that she saved, and the other guy she didn't, and she let him killed. This guy turned out to be his half brother, and he was upset because his father cared for him more. I'm like, really?
Yeah,
that's your plot, world domination.
Yeah, I was thinking, I was like, this is too far, and you honestly didn't need it. Like, there was not really. He could have just been a foil to the whole 007 program, and he could have just been just that guy. But they had to throw that in there. It felt like it was. It's one of those things, like, it felt like it was just forced. Like, we had to throw like some sort of family aspect in here in order to make this work, and it wasn't necessary at all.
The one thing that I will say that on a positive note about this movie is that somebody came to Sam Mead and said, hey, look, I got an idea for 4 Bond movies that's never been done before. Let's try this. And
yeah,
probably as a book series, this would have been great. As a theatrical release, it's kind of weak in some points.
Right.
So let's just roll right into the ratings because I kind of want to talk about Star Wars. Let's roll right into the ratings. I mean, this movie, as Richard said in the beginning, visually is great to watch. I saw it in IMAX, kind of want my money back, but it was a great. I'm gonna put it to you like this: I couldn't tell when the IMAX cameras came into play for this movie.
Okay.
It was great because most of the movie, I think 99% of the movie still had the black bars on it, but just being in the IMAX theater with the sound, it was great at that point. And so I give this movie a C. Visually great to watch, sound great to watch, acting. I mean, it's British actors. It seems like a prerequisite. If you're British, you have to be able to act to get in their movies. So there's no lame duck lines in the movie. It's just that the story could have been a little bit better, in my opinion. One-time watch, red box it, go see it in the theaters. It's still worth the watch.
Right. I'm going to echo your sentiment there. I think I'm going to actually give it the exact same score you gave it, which was a C. And in all honesty, it's really because the movie is impressively shot. It's like all the pieces are there to make it a good movie. It's just, it felt like exactly how you put it. It's a checklist of, okay, well, these are the things that need to be in a Bond movie. Let's throw these in there, see what sticks, and then we'll profit. And that's just, it doesn't have the same soul as the last, especially because Skyfall, I think, to me, is probably my favorite one of those, and it's just because there was actually tension between Bond and the villain. Whereas this movie, it's like the villain just kind of shows up, and I think the old adage is true. It's like your movie's only as good as your villain, and there really wasn't a foil. It's just he just happened to be there. So I'll have to say that it's shot well. It looks great. The production value of this movie is high. And then we didn't even talk about Batista being in there because it's like he only had one word in the entire movie, but
which will be edited in the TV version.
Right? Yeah. So it's like all the pieces to make this movie great were there, but for whatever reason, it just seems like it doesn't have the same soul or the heart as far as the storytelling aspect of it as the other movies. So I have to definitely say it's a C for sure.
So, highlight of this movie was the Star Wars trailer. Let's be honest.
I didn't get a Star Wars trailer on mine, and I was
You
hurt.
didn't get a Star Wars
I was
trailer.
hurt.
Oh my
I was
goodness,
hurt. I was hurt.
bruh,
I was hurt.
Okay. Okay. I don't want to spoil that for anybody out there, but there's a Star Wars trailer. It's about maybe 3 minutes long. It's got some sword play in it. It's got some what are those things called? X-wing and TIE fighter action in it.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I didn't get.
Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill are in it, as well as Harrison Ford and Chewbacca, which you already knew about. So it's looking to be a pretty epic movie. So I just want to tell the universe out here that my good friend Richard told me about 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah.
That Star Wars tickets went on sale. That I need to hurry up and get some. And I was thinking, bruh, I got so many choices here in Atlanta. It doesn't make sense to me to buy movie tickets 2 months in advance. Well, lo and behold, it's sold out.
I told you that.
Friday,
You thought it was
Saturday, and Sunday.
wait for Saturday and Sunday?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I didn't even check the Thursday midnight showing because I knew that was gone.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is sold out.
Richard, I'm about to really blow your mind. There's 4 theaters. Actually, no, I take that back. Mount Vernon, Buckhead, Atlantic Station, North Point. Yeah, there's 4 theaters that I have choices that are close by for me to go to. I think the one in Atlantic Station does have tickets available, but it was only for the very first. Oh, no way I'm paying for a 3D movie in IMAX to sit in the front row like this.
Oh no,
like
man, you ain't doing that, nah.
So, if you want to do the show, we can gladly do this. Just that I won't see the movie. I won't be upset that you can spoil the heck out of it. It's just that it's my negligence that I didn't listen to.
Wow, dude, that I told you that, man. I was like, because man, when the tickets went up, see, this is the thing, man. When the tickets went up, and see, I'm in Raleigh, so when the tickets went up in Raleigh, 2 minutes after the trailer was over, 50% of the seats were already sold. That next morning, the entire seat structure was blood red except for that front row, and that was it. And then
you see,
yeah, it's
look. I'm talking when I say 4 theaters are sold out. I was willing to take time off from work, so we're talking daytime shows sold out for 4 freaking theaters. That doesn't compute in my mind. How does that happen?
Dude, Star Wars. It's funny because I remember going in Target the other day and I saw like Jurassic Park, like the stand for the Blu-ray talking about #1 movie in America. I'm like, Star Wars isn't even out yet. Star Wars isn't even out yet, and they are like, you pretty much can already. They can already forecast what that movie is going to make. I mean, it's not even summer. Like Disney pretty much is like, we can release this at any point in the year. They picked December, which is when the crappy horror movies come out, and they put it on that same period. Like, you just wonder, like, what movie actually is going to put themselves in the predicament to actually come out that exact same weekend? Like, it doesn't make any sense because you're not going to get anyone to see your movie.
Here's what I would like to do is I would like to calculate Gone with the Wind, their ticket sales, and put in inflation and put it up against this Star Wars movie, as well as with Titanic, because I believe it goes Titanic is the #1 grossing movie of all time.
It is.
Then comes The Dark Knight, and then comes Titanic. But I'm pretty sure, Titanic made millions of dollars selling 10 cents a ticket. So that just says that a whole lot of people went to go see that Gone with the Wind movie. And then, Titanic came out in like 1997, 96. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah.
Back when I remember tickets were like $4.50.
Yeah.
And then The Dark Knight came out, and surprisingly, The Dark Knight didn't eclipse Titanic because tickets were almost double, maybe tripled in some areas. So if you add in inflation with those ticket prices and put it up against the Star Wars, I still think that Star Wars is going to eclipse it by leaps and bounds. But this movie is just going to put. Does George Lucas get anything on this? Or is it just all Disney?
Well, this is Disney now because George Lucas sold the rights to Star Wars, He sold. Let me back up. He sold Lucasfilm, ILM, Skywalker Sound, like pretty much his entire all of his properties for $4.05 billion.
Oh, okay, so he don't care.
Yeah, see, well, yeah, he doesn't care. So I mean, it's like I'm sure there may be some residuals that are coming from it, but I'll be honest, man. Like you got $4.05 billion. Like what? Like like there's not really a way for one person to spend that amount of money on themselves. You know, because George Lucas, I mean, he's got a little age on him, so it's like I don't see it, but you never know. But yeah, so at this point, I don't think he cares, which is why I think his level of involvement on these movies are pretty much it's pretty much nil. Like I think the only people who worked on this movie that actually worked on the originals was Kathleen Kennedy and
The writer,
Lawrence.
right?
Yeah, Kathleen Kennedy and Lawrence Kasdan. Yeah, I think those are the only ones who actually kept with it. And to be honest with you, and that's the reason why I'm gonna be honest, that's the reason why the original trilogy, because people forget George Lucas wrote practically the first movie, and to me, I think out of the original trilogy, it's the weakest one. Empire is, I think, the best movie, but what's the name of it? Return of the Jedi is my favorite overall.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay, I think Return of the Jedi is my favorite overall, but Empire is the best movie. Like if you look at a movie as a whole, if they took out Ewoks out of Return of the Jedi, it would probably be the best one. It's just that they went total creature factory in that last one. But I think, in all honesty, I think Return of the Jedi, as far as the story, how things wrapped up, I think that was the best one. The only thing I have a problem with, though, is that it's like all triumph and yay, but now you got this movie and it's 30 years in the future, and it doesn't like things really change very much. So it completely now changes how you look at the end of Return of the Jedi. Like honestly, what's funny is that the ending,
Well,
the original. Go ahead. Let me.
I hate to cut you off. It's because I want to save this for the show. I want to save this for the show because that's one of the things I want to talk about. How can you go from a complete victory to now you're back in the same predicament again?
Yeah, I mean, I'm here. The way I look at it is that to be honest, the original ending, like not the special edition ending, the original ending from Return of the Jedi actually fits more with the way that these movies are playing out, because it didn't show like a triumphant, like galactic victory. George Lucas came in and changed all that and made it that, okay, well, the whole universe, the whole galaxy is now rejoicing. Whereas the end of the original one, it was just like they're on the planet of Endor and they're just like, dancing around. And that was the end of that movie. But I don't know. That's the only thing I have an issue with, and I want to see how they're going to come back from that. But like I said, that's a whole nother topic, because I'm excited. Like it's what's my fiance, we were talking. She's like, how come you're more excited about Star Wars than you are about because Transformers, they recently announced there's going to be 5, 6, 7, and 8 movies. See what now?
That's gonna be a big finale for 2016, the announcement of Transformers.
Oh, okay, my bad. But yeah,
Transformers is in my heart. I bleed Optimus Blue.
Yeah.
And Carolina Red.
But I mean, I want them to do the one thing I want Hasbro to do is I want them to do a franchise right, which Disney has nailed with both Marvel and with Lucasfilm, at least what we think is going to come out of this new movie. So I want Hasbro to take a page out of their book and throw it inside of theirs, because it just looks like they're pumping movies out because they're profitable, but they're not pumping movies out because they have a really, really fantastic story. And that's what I think is the biggest difference between them. So
all I'm gonna say about Hasbro is, as long as I don't get another Battleship or G.I. Joe, I'm happy.
You know what? If Michael Bay actually did G.I. Joe, I think we'd be okay. I think he needs to be on, like, something like G.I. Joe, because him on Transformers, it's not like I'm against him being on that movie, but I think someone else could do that franchise justice at this point. I think if they put him in G.I. Joe, I think the movie would be epic. I really do, because he's all about military porn. Like that's his thing.
Go ahead and wrap this up. Okay, so on the docket, tentatively, we have the Hunger Games, the final one in that saga. Don't get your hopes too high, but yeah, that movie's coming out November 18th.
What else?
I've been told. Go ahead.
I'm trying to think what else comes out around this. What else is coming out?
I think we got a couple holiday movies coming out as well. But I've been told by my mom that if I don't wait to go see it with her, since I've seen the other previous 3 with her, that there will be hell to pay. So it's going to be tentative on when I get back home to actually see it with mom. So stay tuned with the actual. And then, of course, the epic Star Wars comes out December 18th, correct?
17th. I'm looking right now, man. You know what else comes out that day? Alvin and the Chipmunks.
Yeah, so Hunger Games is the only thing that comes out.
Yeah, it comes out the same day. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, wait, because you got the only movies coming out. You got Hunger Games, The Good Dinosaur, Creed. Oh, Creed. That's
okay, yeah. Creed is a good movie that I want to go see. I want to see how Michael B. Jordan does in that.
Yeah, I still haven't seen. What's the name of that movie? Southpaw. I still haven't seen Southpaw yet.
That was. Yeah.
All right. Okay. I'll check that one out. But yeah,
right.
Man.
All right, everybody. I do appreciate y'all coming out, watching the show. We had about 2 or 3 viewers coming on live. It was my bad with the links messing it up at the beginning. My first link didn't work, but my second one does. I'll put it in YouTube on the notes to actually go to the right link. So reach it when you can. As always, I do appreciate y'all coming out. Stay tuned tentatively to the next show that's coming out. Hopefully it'll be Hunger Games, but definitely we'll have one for Star Wars. Until then, stay classy, everybody.